Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to dive into some endless runner games and rank them. You know, the ones where you keep running, collecting coins, dodging obstacles, stuff like that. I'll be putting these games in a tier list and letting you know which ones are worth your time.
Are you really the decider?
I did try out each of these games to give them a fair chance. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about some of them, if not all. So let's get right into it. Let's start with an easy one. First up is Temple Run 2. This is the sequel to the OG Endless Runner that pretty much started it all. I've got a soft spot for this one, but to be honest, it's not really perfect. You have to tilt your phone to change lanes, which, let's be real, is a total pain in the ass if you are lying on bed or playing just in a different position. But the gameplay is still absolutely poggers after all these years.
Oh, yeah, that sounds fantastic.
I really love the seasonal maps they roll out. They keep things fresh, I would say. There are characters which are unlockable with in-game coins and paid gems, and we have all these customizable hats and power-ups as well, which adds a certain layer of strategy. That being said, I can't play it lying down after a hard day of work. I have to sit, and I don't really want to sit after being on my ass all day.
Right. I totally agree.
My rants aside, this game really has a nostalgia factor, and the gameplay is pretty interesting as well for what it is. And there's the fact that you can play this offline, so I would say it's going into A tier. Relic Runner is amazing. You can play as Lara Croft, collect coins and relics, kill baddies, as she always does. You don't really get an endless mode until after an hour of gameplay, but the introduction period is worth it, I would say. Actually, that's because the game lets you be familiar with its unique stuff, wall running and different parkour moves that you can perform. And there are even shooting segments, something that's not really common in this kind of games.
That is true.
Plus, there are stages where you get to run vehicles and do some insanely fun shit. And they really add a layer of variety that keeps the game fresh even if you play it again and again. And Lara is really like the biggest selling point of this game.
What face is that?
My thinking one. Do you mind if I just...
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's so kind. Frank, the nice Australian woman, wants to take a picture for us.
No, not that one. Whether it's while she's performing killer badass stunts or just flopping around in the ground after a crash, the animations are just insane. That aside, the challenge is just right, we'll really need to make some smart decisions, especially when deciding if you want to risk a good run to grab clues or maybe some snag some extra diamonds. It's really up to you, and depending on your choice, the run would be a success or it would be a failure.
Wow. That is brutal.
Plus, it's not really just about running. You get to upgrade Lara's gear and also her badass guns. You don't really even need to connect online for this after the first time of signing in. I'm giving this an S tier without question. So, a bit of personal lore here. I was kind of a shy and awkward guy in college, and I made my first friend while bonding over this game, so I'm totally not biased here.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Sonic Dash 2 has some fun elements. It has a gimmicky party system where different characters have like their own abilities, but other than that, it doesn't really innovate over the first game, which is like miles ahead of this shit.
That's a bummer. Okay.
We'll cover that in a minute. But anyways, the gameplay is fairly generic, and the ads, especially the intrusive ones, they're after every run, and they really take away from this experience unless you are playing offline. Uh, I have seen a couple of really corn ads. The game switches to a tilt mode control at times, which really feels awkward. That aside, it gives some of the characters pretty early. And the medium pace of this game makes it particularly enjoyable for, I don't know, maybe players seeking a balanced gameplay or something. But overall, I would say that Sonic Dash 2, in my opinion, doesn't really bring anything new or exciting to the table. So it can comfortably sit in B tier for now. Minion Rush, I kinda expected a bit more from this game based on reviews, really. But it basically forced me into an online game for most of the content. Which felt pretty unnecessary for this kind of game. And there's so many ads, it's just dog shit. And the camera movement, sometimes it gives it a nice feel, but the gameplay totally lacks any kind of depth. It's not original, and the speed is really meh, nothing really stands out about it, I would say. And it got its moments, but after like the first 5 to 10 minutes, after you'll basically unlock the endless mode, it's so repetitive. I couldn't really play more than 2 or 3 matches before I had to quit. I also don't know why it asks for a download every time I log in, and I'll have to level up and unlock a stage or something like that. The missions also are so dumb. I don't know who this game is for. Maybe the people who rated it 4.2 stars, I don't know. Personally, it's at C tier. Pet Runner is like, yeah, this is a meme game, but it's a classic example of a bald-faced, shameless AI-like ripoff. The game has such a weird pacing. The character models and animations are so unpolished, and the music is super generic stock sound. There's also a weird floaty feeling when you move the character. It's kind of like Warframe, but 10 times worse.
Like, damn, that sucks.
The stupid character looking back at you during the run is like so distracting instead of being cute or shit like that. At least it's offline, but the flow of the game is like so silly, so stupid, and it's like 1 minute you are in a city and the next minute you are in a desert with Arabian music playing in the background.
Wait, what?
I tried going online for just lols, and I really got bombed with ads in game. And also after each run, which is like so jarring and annoying. This game doesn't hold up compared to any of the other games, so I would say it's definitely a D tier. I don't believe the next game needs any sort of introduction. Like, come on, it's one of the most well-known game of this genre. The gameplay feels pretty fluid and polished, and it's really responsive. I mean, the character moves really well.
That's pretty good.
The game has some nice power-ups, which come up more often compared to some of the other games. And the hoverboards are like semi-paywalled, I would say, but you can really get a lot of them while playing the game, and they feel really fun to use. While it has ads in online mode, you don't really have to worry about them if you go offline. The game is pretty awesome with its maps, its nice stylized art style, and it's funny with the police guy chasing the dude. The game has been around for a pretty long time, and it's well deserved. So I'd say it deserves a spot in S tier. Sonic Dash is a fucking awesome game and makes Sonic 2 feel like a steaming pile of turd. You play as Sonic, and well, Sonic runs pretty fast as expected from him. So if you play this, you'll feel it's more of a racing game.
Seriously?
This game has a superb camera movement, and the boss fights are there also, so you don't really feel like you are doing the same thing over and over. And the running feels really amazing, and after running a while, you also get to do a sprint jump. So here you can just relax a bit before you get to run again, and you get to perform some cool moves up in the air. And if you get those moves right, you get a lots of tokens and rewards. I did pause once mid-air and failed on these moves, but that's fine, you don't really lose anything much on that. Anyways, the game has like 3 currencies: common coins, red coins and diamonds, so there's a lot to collect and upgrade, but it doesn't really feel much overwhelming. There's also a section where you get to play other games to earn rewards, like we used to have in those survey missions in some of the older games. Overall, I'm placing this in A tier for its pretty dynamic, fast action and the variety in its content. No, this is not a joke. Talking Tom Gold Run is, I would say, a pretty decent game for probably kids. There's just no depth or soul. I mean, was that too mean? the game wants you to collect gold and build Tom's house, which is fun for a while, but it gets really boring so freaking fast. The gameplay is so juvenile. Once you get like 2000 points though, the difficulty gets suddenly very high.
Really?
I literally have no idea why they designed it like this. It's just so jarring and weird. There are some ads, not a lot, and you can always go offline to avoid them. There are boss stages which are surprisingly difficult compared to the rest of the game, and it has the overall feeling of inconsistency, or rather, there is a lot of balance I think that needs to be done for this game. So it's a cute game for with some replayability, but overall, I'm putting this in C tier. Yeah, another Talking Tom game, am I right? Talking Tom Hero Dash doesn't really bring much to the table, but I would say it does what it needs to. The gameplay is a bit slow, and it has a silly, goofy plot like Mario, which is kind of funny, I guess. But again, it feels kind of simplistic and really aimed at younger kids. It has some engaging gameplay and charm than I initially expected, and it has really simple mechanics. The game's level design keeps things interesting with stuff like varied obstacles, fun costumes, and environments that will evolve as you progress. It starts off slow, but adds a bit of challenge over time. And if you go online, you can try out different cars, and also you can make Tom wear different cute costumes, which can be earned for free.
Whatever, Major Loser.
You can also collect characters like Angela or Hank through different areas, which adds a bit of motivation for the users who like that kind of stuff. And there are boss battles which are pretty stupid, but at least it gives some much needed variety. And the movement and all also feels pretty good. So I would say it's a B tier at most. Lastly, let's get to Rail Rush. So I remember playing this game a lot when miniclip.com was still a big thing. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a site for mini flash games. And the game is basically a white dude riding a mining cart collecting coins, and that's about it, I would say.
That's it?
That's it.
The game has a lot of stages, some of which they give away for free, and each have their own gimmicks, so that keeps things interesting for the most part. The game starts off a bit slow, so you get to know what's happening in the map before it starts throwing real shit at you. The graphics are like 20 years old, so some might find it charming or nostalgic. Once again, I really hate the tilt mechanics which this game has, which is like so fucking annoying. The game is pretty lightweight. It's fun, and you can totally play this offline. Its graphical fidelity lacks as some of the newer titles, but this game has a nostalgic feel and solid mechanics. And it also provides a diverse range of challenges depending on the stage you choose. So I think I'm putting it at A tier. So there you have it. That's my ranking on some of the most iconic endless runners. Relic Run is the best of them all. And Temple Run 2 and Subway Surfers and Sonic as well also hold their ground as fan favorites and my favorites as well. But these were just my personal thoughts. Let me know in the comments what your favorite runner game is if you agree and disagree. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more such content. See you soon.